We Are the City is David Menzel. He's got a great mustache, great hair. Andrew Hutzlak, great creative mind, really into computers and the internet. And myself, Kane McKenzie. I like nature, I don't know. We're just three guys, started when we were 16.
We're from Kelowna, really, essentially. We were all raised here, and just recently we moved to Vancouver.
I haven't spent more than like a day in Kelowna in I guess 6 months, so it is exciting to be home.
And what keeps bringing us back is just that it's our hometown. We love playing for these people.
Well, this weekend is Keloha. We are playing the island stage, which is cool because the island stage is like this kind of monument for me just growing up here.
Let's talk about what I used to do that was funny. I mean, I still do the same things, you guys just don't find them funny anymore.
We left Vancouver yesterday at about noon, and we just did this exact same thing we always do. Lots of bands just like sit in their seats, put their headphones on, or watch their own movies, but for some reason we just always talk. We talk the whole trip, no matter how long it is.
So you think that you'll get your comedy back pretty soon?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if comedy will be a feature that they include in 2.0.
Kane 2.0 just came up on the drive yesterday. When we were driving up here, Kane kind of mentioned that he felt like he needed to reinvent himself in a way.
We're just kind of discussing like what new features go into Kane 2.0. Like what features do they keep from the old operating system, the original, and what new ones go in.
I need to become Kane 2.0 really soon. Like,
yeah,
it's
but this isn't Eat, Pray, Love. It's not like...
He kind of said, you guys don't find me funny anymore. And me and Andy feel like we do find him funny, but we just know him so well, we've heard all the jokes a million times.
You used to wear funnier hats all the time.
Yeah, that's
funnier
true.
hats.
Remember that hat that said F yeah?
Well, I have that hat
Don't
still.
wear it anymore.
I wore that like one time. That was a one-time joke.
Man, don't you remember when we go to McDonald's? Now you never go to McDonald's.
No, you called me last night and I was at McDonald's.
That's true. That's true.
That 4-hour conversation is like, it's great. You got like your classic jokes that you say every time on that drive, because like you drive by certain landmarks and it's like you say that joke that you say every time and everyone's sort of sick of it, but like you say it anyway.
Attention passengers, we are beginning our descent at the Pennask Summit. Currently descending at 70 miles per hour into the beautiful Okanagan Valley. The captain has turned on the seatbelt lights, so if you could please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. That's all I've got. Pretty good.
That's
okay.
Back.
Man, you got it back.
Your comedy is
You
hilarious.
guys think so?
Yeah.
You're funny.
You guys, that's not real laughter. These guys, they're putting me out on the street.
It is funny. We don't laugh. We don't laugh at each other anymore.
No, you guys laugh at each other all the time.
Because I knew that was really funny, but I wasn't laughing. But in my heart, I was going, "Man, this is good."
All three of us try to like really like maintain like positivity through our conversations, just because like it's so easy to get negative, especially when you're like with the same people all the time and you're doing like kind of mundane like tasks like driving a van for hours and hours.
If not for your eyes, then I would not still dream we hadn't said goodbye.
It's just such a short trip, and there's no like, oh man, I wish I was home, because here we are going home, really. So yeah, it was different than a long tour for sure.
It's been a year.
It's been a year. It's been a year for you, Andrew?
Maybe a minute.
It's been 6 months.
6 months at
6
least.
months at least for me. Since Christmas. Yeah, Christmas.
This is nice.
Coming back after a year, it's a little bit, it's like seeing an old friend, you know? It's like,
Island over there?
it's almost a little bit like you get homesick for a second. You're there, so you don't need to be sick for home because you're there. But I guess it's butterflies. I don't know how you'd describe it.
What a great place to live. This is just so cool. You come over this, like this little thing, you pass a visitor center. This is the best. I love this. You just look out, you see the lake. This is so cool. That part of the drive is just, it's just crazy because it just like, it's like so many memories just like bombard my brain all at once, you know? It's just so, it's so cool.
Really, after seeing all of Canada and seeing a lot of America, there's something so insanely beautiful about the Okanagan Lake and about Kelowna and Peachland and West Bank. It's just, I can't put a word to it. It's amazing how lucky we are to be living in such a beautiful place.
Wow, this is so cool.
We're going through Lakeview there because there was a detour. Sarah, who's riding with us, she says, oh, have you guys ever been to this free bookstore around here? And then Brendan says, actually, yeah, I went there not too long ago. I think it might be open. I don't know where it is though. And then right then, like we drive by it and it's just like, it's right there. And then we just, I just pulled over right away. Wildflowers in the Pacific Northwest. That one is for me.
We can take all these records and give
He's not kidding, he's gonna take that home.
One of the best, I'd say, things for morale when you're touring is to make these little stops and to, you know, if you see something and you like it and you're not running late, go stop and enjoy whatever it is.
Oh man,
That's what something that
that's
Nardwuar-
gonna be so funny. You gotta dress up as Nardwuar and give it to him. That's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Do the impression? David from Where the City. I'm here.
I can't do it. Bad impression.
We were talking about it earlier in the day, like if Nardwuar was to give you a record, what would it be? And David's like, Michael W. Smith, and we're like, so we saw it, and yeah, it's gonna be funny to give it to him. I think he's gonna like it.
This one is Andrew's.
Oh wait, that's Carmen. He was probably the first.
He's coming on strong for sure.
That was the first music I ever listened to probably in my entire life.
No,
No, I'm not kidding.
you're not real.
No, I'm not kidding. That was
That's a real
wow. You got Breakfast in the USA?
thing. Breakfast in America. I mean, I actually have this already, but I like it so much that I'm gonna take one so that I can give it to a friend. Like when they're like, "Oh, this is great," it's like, "Oh, I have two. Have one." It's trying on your mind, like touring all the time, but yeah, we're learning to stop and do things because this is a gift and this is like a vacation, the whole thing. And so yeah, we're starting to do more things.
And I charmed you though in high school.
In
Planning 10? In Planning 10.
That's true.
We weren't friends.
one to get to the Me Without You website is.
Yeah, but I mean, we weren't friends. We weren't friends, and then I charmed you into being friends with me. I just put the friend moves on.
We had a bunch of friends over, a bunch of friends and family who we haven't seen in a long time. And it was just awesome. We just talked, listened to some music, relived old memories.
Oh, what's up? You're gonna do it.
Yeah. Oh,
I can't. I
Instead of putting it in and out, just eat it. You have to eat it.
I can't
It's
do
fine.
that.
Just
Come on. Oh.
I'm just not even gonna enjoy that now.
Oh, that's unappealing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We see each other and it's like they're like buff now and I'm like too skinny and like, you know what I mean? They look at me and they're like, Kane, like what kind of beard is that? You know what I mean? Like we haven't seen each other for a year. That's a really long time when we were only 21 years old.
All my friends get along with the idea of growing up. And all my friends make a bond. It's
Through this door.
Another world.
Just through this door is another world.
Oh man, spooking me out.
We went down into the basement and kind of took a tour of the old jam room where we wrote most of our songs.
And the drums
over there.
Drums
The
set
drums
up
were over
in the
there.
back.
Where that bed was.
That bed was not there.
Yeah, and those speakers we played through, those were the PA.
We had monitors too.
Pretty sure we blew every speaker in here though.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Kane was here. This was his like Mad workstation.
Keyboard area.
And David, you were over there.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff on this wall.
Yeah.
We wrote all of our first record in there in a quiet world, and had tons of practices. And then Kane and Andy actually wrote High School down there.
I don't think the three of us have been in there together for almost, I bet you, 2 years, which is, you know, it's pretty long.
Look at this. This is insane. Like,
This is our city release for In a Quiet World. Wow, it's great that the year is on there because you just wouldn't remember. May 15th, 2009.
I mean, that's not that long ago. That's only 3 years ago.
I know.
It feels like a long time ago.
We think of those as the good old days, but really, I mean, we're making these good old days right now, and so that was something that was cool to kind of realize.
I was having a sad time, like in grade 12, and Andrew made me this. Pretty funny.
Yeah, it was a throwaway joke for me when I made it.
What?
I was just kind of like being whatever.
Dude, this is the nicest thing you've ever done for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
This is the nicest token that you've ever given me.
Oh,
I don't know if that's good or
this
bad.
Sucks.
Okay, it says, never give up, always be cool, you're the best. Kane is beautiful, he rocks as a human. That's great, it's in this crappy frame. I kept it.
It gives perspective, I think, to the whole journey, to realize where we have been and where we are now, and to be very grateful for that transformation.
I think back to like the simplicity of just like even the way we were excited for one show, and it was like months away.
Oh man, speaking of that one show, check this out.
Oh, that was the worst show.
This is one of our first. This is one of our first kind of like Kelowna, like the big gigs, I mean, there
Life
were
and Arts Festival.
Life and Arts Festival. It was our first like festival show.
And we ruined that show.
I just feel proud. You know, I feel like proud of Andrew and David. I see them and I see like how far they've come as songwriters, and I'm just proud of them, you know. It's cool.
Not the battery.
Not the battery.
We already rolled that out.
It's your fuel supply. It's our fuel supply.
Right now we're going to Chronic Tacos. Kane had a big obsession with this place when maybe a couple months ago.
I love Chronic Tacos so much. I've probably eaten at Chronic Tacos maybe 20 times.
Kane actually wanted the tacos the most, I think. But then we got in line, and I don't know if it was the price that freaked him out, or he knew the price though. I think he just lost his appetite.
It's a terrible way to start the day. I mean, you just like pack a huge burrito into your stomach, like that's the first thing you put in there.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
It's an ongoing joke that I'm from Mexico. Now, Kane probably said that in his interview. And it's a lot, like, I know Andy will say it in the interview too. It's like, David's from Mexico.
He's always into tacos and like kind of like pretending that he's like has some Spanish roots or something, and he's always trying to speak Spanish and stuff.
We were driving kind of like by Mexico on our last tour, and his face lit up when we drove by the Mexican cities.
Truth is, I've been to Mexico twice, and one was for 3 months, one was for 2 weeks, and that's it. Out of all my 22 years of living, so not from there, just like the food.
That's where we played our first show ever.
On that little stage.
We should have left here at Waterfront.
Sometimes at festivals, it's like a long haul to the stage. When we got to where we were loading in, we're like, how are we gonna get our gear over there? This is so far. So we figured there must be golf carts or something. So Andy found the Selena and her crew to bring golf carts, and that was awesome. But then there's like, you have 2 golf carts and you have a ton of gear. For 3 people, we have like 5 keyboards, 4 amps, like we have so much crap.
We played at the Vogue in Vancouver not too long ago, and we used up all of the inputs that they had set up. It's
5 keyboards.
I think crew, they shake their heads at us for sure, as they rightly should.
You know, it seems a little bit unrealistic for kind of a beginning band like us to have such specific gear, but I don't know, we won't budge, you know?
Kane's got the heaviest gear, no question. No question. Yeah. I definitely have the most gear, and the heaviest gear, and the most delicate gear, and the most sound-specific gear. I'm a hassle.
That actually works really good.
Yeah.
That's nice.
What is this, made for our gear?
Yeah.
Perfect. Oh yeah, it's kind of, if you don't get it in one go, you're not a man, is the way we always feel. So.
We thought we weren't men because we couldn't fit everything on the golf cart. And then we kind of went through a questioning period. Are we men?
I think so. I think we can.
You think we can do it?
I think so.
Maybe we're men still. Hold on. Oh yeah, that.
Let's see if we're men. Are we men, or are we dancer machine?
We don't need the carpet, do we?
We got all the gear on there, but we didn't have enough seats. And then the gear was so high that Kane and I had to run behind it and make sure that nothing was falling off.
It's gonna be so fun. This is gonna be cool. Just got.
You're really gonna stand in the back of the
Yeah. I'm just gonna hold it all in, you know.
I had to be even more of a man and hang on from the back.
Okay, here we go.
We had to go over a bridge with a golf cart around like dolphins, you know, over grassy knolls, big slants, crazy geese trying to eat you as you go by.
I think the gear is more important than my life because if there's no music, if there's no vinyl, then is life really worth living?
Why don't we just load on?
We're just setting up right now for this set at the island stage, and yeah, a little bit of a tight deadline, so we're just all, you know, going into work mode.
Well, I'm a little thrown off, to be honest. I mean, I'll recuperate, but I'm used to having Andy there, so I kind of have like a, but now I have to almost look backwards at Kane, so I'm figuring that out. First world problems, you know.
David, is the sun gonna be okay for you? Dive dehydration.
It was so hot. We're not really like taking our shirts off type of guys, but it was so hot. Like I looked over at Kane, I had my shirt off, he had his shirt off. It was like, oh, I guess we're both doing this thing.
Almost as many. Pretty soon I hope to get a full keyboard one day, if I'm allowed. I'm only allowed this many keys. He's got a lot of them.
I hate that I use that thing. It looks so stupid. It's like I got this full piano stand holding up this little Casio keyboard that's the size of a book, you know what I mean? And then to top it all off, it's got all the notes labeled. So it looks like I'm an idiot.
No, I'm not here waiting on anyone, especially not Jessica. I feel wrong inside my
For the first slot of the entire festival, I'd say that the turnout was great. You know, it's always a gamble with festival shows, and we've played some festival shows to no people, and we've played some festival shows to a lot of people.
I've always wanted to play that stage. I was at festivals years ago where I saw bands I liked playing on that stage. So it was always kind of a stage I wanted to play on, and so to actually be at a festival on the main stage playing it was kind of cool.
somewhere else.
It was hot. It was crazy. I looked down when we were playing at my arms, and my arms, I might as well have just jumped in the lake. Like my arms were just like,
It was so hot that there's a certain point in the set where I realized that I might not make it through the set. There was a certain point in the set where it stopped being a fun experience and it started being an experience of like, how do I make it through the entire set without collapsing?
I looked over at Andrew multiple times and he's got the face of a person who's in a nightmare, you know what I mean? Like he's just dehydrated, like uncomfortable, like I'm way too hot faces. We got the whole golf cart packed up again. The whole, like, you know, Jenga, Tetris. We're going back with the loaded golf carts.
Battery. Okay.
Not the battery.
It's not the battery.
We already ruled that out.
It's your fuel supply. It's our fuel supply.
We were feeling great, feeling very hot and exhausted, but totally elated. And we loaded up all of our gear and got back to the van, and it wouldn't start.
You got a Johnson rod in there? I think you got a Johnson rod leaking.
This guy Brian was there, just like underneath the van, like I don't even know where he came from. It's like he just like apparated, like out of nothing, you know? He's just there, like he was exactly what we needed at the time.
Something, right? I'd say it's the fuel cell, and it's mixing with the combustor.
Yeah.
I think probably. Oh, that's the problem. There's no lid on there. That's the problem. Too much air intake.
It's awesome when you don't know anything about anything, and then you talk to people who do know something about that anything you're talking about, and they think you're serious. And it's pretty funny because I'm saying things like, could it be the window washer fluid? He's like, no. You know what I mean? He thinks I'm serious.
So how much is the Johnson rod?
Man, I heard those things are like 700 bucks.
800 bucks, not?
Used
You find a
for
good one?
700.
Used Johnson rod?
It didn't affect us, the fact that the van wouldn't start. If anything, it was a little bit of a humorous thing that here of all places, the van breaks down.
I don't know what we're gonna do. Get a new one with DVD players, I guess.
This house over here, me and David wrote our first tunes at.
This place is Green Bay Bible Camp. This is where I grew up from when I was like 8 till we started going on the road at about 17, 18.
My old friend, tell me where you've been. Have I wasted away? Did you wait till the end? And how have you been?
This whole weekend, the theme I think is just coming home, you know, homecoming, and it feels great.
This was the first time for us that we were traveling to where we started the band, you know, traveling to our hometown to play a gig.
It's really nice after doing tours of Canada and of America where you don't know anybody, you don't know where you are, to come back to here and just kind of like, I guess, reminisce of the last 5 years playing music here and about our whole lives with our friends and family. It's something that I can't explain. It's a feeling that can't be topped.
It's funny to realize that by accident you moved on. You know what I mean? By accident, like you grew up a little, and it's definitely been really present in my mind, and overall I feel like a positive thought on this trip. And what's gonna happen next? I don't know. Tell me, please, so it's not a surprise.
My old friend.